K-boy.
Ooh, Dub, you killing them. What I say?
What's up, y'all? This is your boy L-DUBNATION, and today we're going to be doing a reaction video to Tommy NFG, Cave Divers Need to Stop. This is probably just going to be talking about all the things that cave divers do and probably all the deaths that happen with the cave diving situation. I don't know if y'all remember a few years ago, well, probably a while ago, where cave diver John Jones has suffocated in the cave and passed away because he got stuck. And they even did a movie about him. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff that these cave divers do, and they put their whole life in risk of danger to, you know, try to successfully go through these caves. But other than that, we're gonna go ahead and get into it.
I can barely keep my head above the water. Alright, here we go.
Jack and his
Buddies bravely ventured deep into a cave carved by an underground river. Out of the blue, the water rose sharply, and they found themselves in a crisis like never before. The cold water was eating away at their breathing space.
Cave diving, an underwater extreme sport which is done.
I wouldn't do it. I'm not doing it. I would never, ever cave dive. But this is what people like to do. You know, this is their way of, you know, adventure or extra adrenaline that they do to put themselves in to those different situations. And look at that. That just, that's just that ain't for me. I ain't doing that.
And as a way to explore the wonder of caves. You can face wonderful things such as dark, desolate spaces with the sharpest rocks on earth, tight openings where you may have to break your kneecaps to get through, oxygen tanks that can run out and potentially have you suffocate to death, but ooh, look at that view. And if you're mad at me for calling it a sport, don't get mad, okay? That's what Google says. But when you're in situations like this, it's probably a sport, right?
Are elbow pads gonna be a problem for me? My sweater, anything?
Yeah.
The passage is both rugged and very tight for me.
I'm too big. If y'all look at me, I am big. I'm too big to be crawling into small spaces. Like my big ass will get stuck just at the first part of the cave if I have to try to climb my way through. You know, I'll be stuck there. I'll be crying and everything. Like, get me out, get me out. No, this ain't for me. I don't care if they call it a sport or not. This definitely ain't for me.
Okay, cool. The rock camera would be helpful. Is there room to turn around and come back?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh my goodness. I understand. So Jacob went face first down a drop down there. It's a little tight through here, but I can keep moving my elbows through. So as long as I can keep bending my elbows,
Yeah.
I'm okay. Oh, I'm too old for this, dude. I am too old for this.
By the way, people do this as an option in life. It wasn't set mandatory, this was a free will pick. So yeah, cave divers have been the topic of the month in social media trends, I guess. I don't know who or when we started talking about cave divers, but if you go on YouTube, you got a ton of channels documenting the craziest cave diver deaths. And on TikTok, it's become a trend to make fun of them. The joke being, anytime a cave diver sees a tiny crack, they try to slide right in. That may have not sounded right, but y'all get the point.
I'll be seeing these on TikTok.
Now, my main reason on making this video is trying to find out why the f anyone would do this. Obviously, the main people this appeals to is thrill seekers. There's a whole genre of human who just love doing the most death-seeking activities, which we'll talk about later, but we'll focus on cave diving. One of the main reasons for my research on why people do it is because cave diving is seen as one of the last things humans have explored on Earth. Because most people aren't trained to do it and usually think, I can either spend thousands of dollars into learning lessons on how to cave dive properly as a hobby, or buy a gaming PC and run some games with the gang. I'm going with the PC. Honestly, I have no clue how much cave diving lessons cost. It was just a joke. Cave divers, don't come at me. I am equipped with a water gun. But they see it as places where almost nobody on Earth has visited. It's like that thing in humanity where everybody wants to be the first at something. And that's usually where a lot of the cases happen, in places that have never been explored. Even if they are though, if you're not professionally equipped, you're gonna end up a peanut butter and rock sandwich. Which is why a lot of the experts say you need to be well trained before going, especially if you're just starting out. One of the most famous cave diving incidents.
It's crazy because there's a lot of people that's like really well trained in cave diving, like experts. Like there's a lot of experts that's really well trained that went through a whole bunch of cave diving, but until one little accident happens, they end up perishing. Like literally end up perishing because just something that went wrong. Like, and it just happens that way. But yeah, it's I wouldn't get into that even if I was. I just don't see why people do it. I feel like they should ban it, but you know, it's just something that people like to do. You know, they like to thrill seek that. But over the years, when you hear people just die in these caves, you're just like, all right, maybe we should probably close these caves up. You would think that they should close up these caves, but you know, this is what they like to do. It's not my cup of tea.
This is known as the Nutty Putty Cave Incident. You may have seen your favorite horror YouTuber talk about this for the 20th time, but I'm sorry, I do have to rehash it for the people that may not know. It all started on November 24th, 2009. A man named John Jones with his brother and friends decided they wanted to go cave diving in the, you guessed it, Nutty Putty Cave. Most of the cave was mapped out by people exploring it, but not all of it. My brain is way too small to figure out how the they mapped it out purely by looking at things like this. Probably why I just make YouTube videos. John accidentally slipped into the wrong section of the cave though, and got put into a narrow slope in the cave.
Look at that. Like, just imagine. Like, can you imagine being stuck like that for hours and days and nobody cannot come and get you and pull you back out? Like, their only strategy was, if they could pull him out, they had to break his legs. They would have to break his legs to get him out. And they had a pulley system, and the pulley system didn't work, and it just made things worse. Y'all gotta watch the movie. I forgot the movie name. I'm wondering if you probably have the movie name title on here. But yeah, just look at that. You're upside down. Literally blood rushing to your head. Yeah, man. If y'all want to get into cave diving and put yourself in situations like this, hey, all by means.
Cave facing downwards. I don't know how you don't panic like this, but I would be cooked. And over 27 hours, 130 rescuers were trying to save him. They tried to pull him out with a system of pulleys and ropes, but it made things worse. And when one person finally managed to be pulling him out, his rope snapped in half. That's the type of luck I would have in this situation. But sadly, through the next day, they couldn't end up pulling him out, and he ended up dying from cardiac arrest and suffocation in the cave. The whole situation is sad, and John sadly wasn't trained enough for it. The worst part about this is, I just found out they made a movie recreation of it. Imagine someone close to you dies a tragic death in a scenario like this, and they make it a movie with 5.5 stars on IMDb and put that bitch on Peacock for free. Like, my at least put it on Netflix. Now we gotta lay down one thing about cave diving. Obviously, by the amount of people that do them, it's not a casual thing of a cave diver going out to explore and being packed up immediately. It's more of a when a situation does happen, it becomes a big thing that people talk about because the situations are so crazy. Think of it like the story y'all are seeing now about the planes malfunctioning all over the world. Meanwhile, just in the USA, there's 16 million flights a year. I don't blame people for not taking those odds though. This year, it feels like planes have been deciding to give up on purpose. Another reason cave divers do it is to see the formations of the cave and how cool they look. And I can admit, They look pretty cool. Not worth risking my life to death type of cool, but I can give it a thumbs up. People also find new species when going cave diving. And who doesn't want to be a person who could say they found a whole species? A lot of times it is pretty useless though, like worms and shrimps. But at least you can name yourself after it. I also found this post about some cave divers explaining why they personally do it. And yes, this Reddit is called r/caving. Nowadays, anybody got a Reddit. Speaking of Reddits, make sure y'all join mine too. I check it every Twitch stream. The person said, so a few days ago, I came across caving accidents on YouTube and I've been terrified of the concept of caving since then. I'm not making this post disrespectful by any means, but I'm just genuinely curious. Let's see, y'all think the cave divers got mad at this? The top comment is, why do anything that's not required to exist? It's fun and fulfills desires. Same with most activities in the outdoors. Okay, I would say not every activity is like cave diving outdoors. You know, you got hiking. I feel like that's pretty safe as long as you go to a well-pathed area. You know, you also got fishing too. Most of us don't shy away from...
I'd rather go hiking than cave diving. Like, I would feel more safer to hike than to go inside a cave and get into small crawl spaces. Like, I would rather do that. The only thing about hiking, you just gotta be careful because, you know, there is some different wild exotic animals that might try to attack you. So if you ever go hiking, you better have some weapons, some pepper spray on you, just in case of some type of animal you come across.
What ifs? You could expire in a desert if you're not prepared, or another risky activity. Oh my god, I can't read. Mountaineering? What is that? I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Mountaineering?
Oh my god, that's this? This is by far worse than cave diving, because genuinely, bro, like, that ice gives up, that ice...
Yeah, I would never do mountaineering. Like, there's a lot of people that go up in the mountains, like way high in the mountains, and the thing about it is when you go way high up in the mountains, the oxygen level drops. The higher you go, the lower the oxygen level drops. And you ain't gonna be able to breathe up there. It's cold and you can't breathe. And a lot of people end up dying because of the oxygen level. And sometimes it gets so bad, like if they die up there, they leave the bodies up there on the mountain. Like they don't even go retrieve them. Like there's bodies up on these mountains to these days because it's too unsafe to grab a helicopter to even try to grab the bodies up. So that's just something to think about if y'all want to get to, you know, climbing up all these mountains and stuff. But yeah, there's literally bodies up there that they cannot retrieve and get to their families and loved ones. So
No, it's a little bit you're cooked. I think the crazy mountaineering activity I'll never understand is Mount Everest. Like, Mount Everest is so dangerous.
They have bodies as checkpoints.
To help people who want to climb the mountains from people that formerly died there. You can go as fast or slow as you want. Keep it tame or push your limits. For me, it started as a fun thing to do, but now it's more about research and conservation of the caves. Okay, see, that's a little bit better of a reason. Because, you know, we're going to have some type of people to research those caves and do that as a job. And if most scientists don't want to do that, I respect him for doing that. Cave divers with loving family when they find a 0.0001 centimeter called the devil's anus and they dive into it. The TikTokers have invaded the cave diving subreddit. Come on, y'all, this is their haven, bro. Can we leave r/caving as the cavers Reddit as their place? Those cave diving accident YouTube videos are usually low effort and inaccurate. I feel like from a lot of the videos I've seen, they're like really detailed though. Like they'll go into a full breakdown of the timeline of when they entered to when they left. Cause I've seen a couple of them just because it seems so interesting, and like they'll have a, like, I don't even know how they find out all the details of the incident, but they have it listed. Seriously, it's like 3 social media cavers constantly pretending they're in life-threatening situations and freaking out for shock value. Could the videos have been dramatized? Some of them, yeah, I'm not sure. There's like so many people that post these type of videos, but hey, that's what gets them the money, man. People want to see them in situations like that. You know, nobody's gonna care if they're in a normal, calm, safe cave. They want to see you damn near dying. It's fun, I like it, and no one can bother me when I'm in a cave. I mean, there's a lot of places though where you can't be bothered. You can go to a desert, the middle of the ocean. For me, it's mostly for the beauty and peacefulness of caves, the feeling of adventure, the scientific aspect of it too. Also, what I love about caving is the feeling of doing something tiring, painful, and difficult, but laughing all through it because you are with your friends. You might just got a domination kink. That's what it's sounding like to me. No judging over here. No judging over here, all right? I hope that gave y'all more insight into why the cave divers like doing it. And I know everybody's making fun of cave divers and clowning them, but something I think is way worse of a thrill seeker activity is all those parkour videos back in the day that used to go viral. I don't know why in the 2010s the thing was parkour and people doing double backflips off buildings, but it's another one of those free will things people choose to do with their life. Like these will straight up climb skyscrapers in the clouds to get the thrill.
Yeah, I ain't doing that either. They be climbing up roofs, they be going skyscrapers, they be going up really tall buildings, and they don't be having no harnesses or nothing. Just straight free and going up like this on these tall objects, risking their lives. Like, I don't know how much thrill you need to put your whole life in danger, but this is just something that people like to do, and people have the guts to do it. Me, I can't do it. I'm a scared person. I mean, I'm not afraid of heights, but just doing something knowing I could fall to my death, yeah, nah, I'm good. Look at it. Look how high they was. Look at that. Look at that. That's a building over there, ain't it? That's a building, right? Look how high they are. Oh my gosh. I wouldn't.
I feel like I'm gonna fall off by just watching these videos. And for them, it's even more of an adrenaline high on why they do it. I guess the dopamine released on the risk of falling is just too good to pass up on. There's another well-known incident that happened with this thrill-seeking activity that went viral a couple years ago. Shocking, wonder how it could go wrong. His name was Wu Yongning, and he was a famous guy on social media for doing all types of crazy roof climbs. These pictures look straight up photoshopped. I wanna know how the in a picture like this you keep your balance. One wind gust and you're out clean. He was recording a video for a challenge that offered some money for who had the best rooftop climb, and on camera while recording he was on the side of a building when he lost grip and fell 62 stories, or in American terms 1,120 feet. And this whole incident I'm talking about, it's on the internet. Like, you can exactly see how it goes until he falls. It's disturbing to know as soon as he's out of the frame, he's going probably for another couple of seconds before hitting the ground and splatting to his death. And what I notice in a lot of these type of activities, a lot of these people don't even associate there could be any type of risk until a major incident happens. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to talk about today. Follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok as always.
Yeah, if y'all want to get into any of that thrill-seeking stuff, there is risks. There is risk to all of that, all right? But that's going to be all for this video, man. If y'all like this video, give me a like and go ahead and subscribe to this channel. And this is your boy, L-DUBNATION.